Hello and welcome back to the Science Man channel and my series on maintaining cold weather koi ponds. I think that's probably weird right now since it's not cold. This is northern Alberta and it gets severely cold for a long time in the winter. Just happened to be in late summer right now and the pond is in its full glory, which is kind of nice for you to be able to see it that way. But what I will do is put links in the description of this video for the rest of the series on all the challenges of trying to keep your koi alive and thriving when it gets down to 30 below. So I thought what would be nice is to put together a little frequently asked question video, because I'm quite surprised at the interest in the cold weather koi series. I get a lot of questions on the videos. Some of them are repeated over and over again, so why not answer them in a frequently asked questions. So here goes. Before I do that, don't forget to subscribe, though. It really helps out with my channel and making more videos like this. So the first question I get, and the most frequent question I get by far, is how often do you clean your filter in your pond? And that's kind of two questions in one. You have to filter your water, and there's a whole bunch of different types of filters out there. What you want to do is get one, rated for the size of your pond. But one of the tips I like to share is watch for the outflow of your filter. And what I do is I direct mine right upward in my pond so I can see the outflow, and that's got two benefits. One is that I can always see that the filter's working, and two, it adds to the oxygenation of the water, because anything that disturbs the surface of the water is going to add oxygen to your water, and that's a good thing. So when you look at the outflow and you see that outflow decreasing, or the agitation of the water decreasing, that means your water flow through your filter is decreasing. It's plugged, and it's time to clean it. Unfortunately, it really varies from season to season and from year to year. I find that I've been doing this pond for over 20 years, and I get a different species and flora of algae in my pond every year. Sometimes it's awful. There's this, really awful green filamentous algae sometimes, and that plugs up filters, and you have to clean your filter sometimes every couple of weeks. If you're lucky, you'll have a summer where you won't have to clean your filter for a month or 2 months or 3 months. So keep an eye on that filter outflow. As for cleaning the whole pond, it gets a complete water change and the walls scrubbed down. I take the fish out. I try to do that at least twice a year. Some of you, of course, are going to have outside ponds dug into your yard that you're not going to be able to do that. So for that, you got to get in there with your boots and do the best that you can, maybe once or twice a year, and clean out some real big accumulations of scutch. What else have we got? How much do you feed your koi? What I always tell people is, if you throw some food into your pond and it's still there after a minute, you're feeding your koi too much. So that's a very simple answer. Hungry koi are healthy koi, so never overfeed your koi. I feed my koi in the summer once a day, and then in the winter when they go into this torpor, or a kind of a suspended animation state, when they move around very slowly in the cold water, they don't nearly need as much food, so I will feed them once every second day, once every third day, and not nearly as much as I would feed them in the summer. So I have about 10 foot-long koi here, and that amounts to about 3 tablespoons of food in the summer. I hope that's helpful as a kind of a guide. What else? How do you heat your pond in the winter? Okay, I've explained this in a couple of the videos, but it keeps getting asked over and over again, and it's really quite simple. You have to keep a heater in your pond, because if it freezes completely over, it is possible that your koi could survive in the winter, but it would have to be a big, deep pond and fairly large for the koi to have enough oxygen to be able to survive the whole winter. And, you'd be just flying by the seat of your pants because you couldn't keep an eye on them. What I do is I just put in a regular old trough heater. These are like $25 from a agricultural supply store. And yeah, they're so cheap, I just get a new one every year. And because they get kind of scunged up and disgusting, and plus they're so cheaply made, I really don't trust them. So I get a fresh one every year. And you just plop that in your pond, and what it does is it takes the edge off, keeps the ice from forming on the surface. And during the winter, just to add to a little bit of extra oxygenation of the water, I will add a bubbler, just like you would for any fish tank, and add a little bit of more oxygen to the water. But keeping my pond warm enough for the fish to survive is just a matter of a simple heater, in this case a trough heater. Now if it gets really cold for an extended period of time, because here in northern Alberta we'll get nasty spells of like -30, -35, and it'll be brutal, and this thing can't even keep up, then what I'll do is I'll add an extra submersible heater to the pond. These are available in any pet shop that has fish, so this is like a 200-watt heater, and that helps for adding a little extra heat to the water. So keep an eye on the fish. If they get too sluggish, that's probably not good. You want to see them moving around in the water. It's okay if the fish slow down and are not nearly as active, but if they get too sluggish, then you want to make sure that you raise the temperature just ever so slightly. A couple more questions. Where did you get the koi bubble? A lot of people have noticed the koi bubble in my videos. It's a really neat little addition to your pond. The koi swim right up to it, and it's quite beautiful when they're swimming around in there. The problem is I got this one as a gift, and I haven't been able to find they're always out of stock. The company that makes them is Velda, V-E-L-D-A. So you can Google that, and good luck getting one. But if you can get your hands on one, it's a really cool little feature for your pond. And one more FAQ for this video. What do you do about leaves and stuff that falls into your pond? Well, I'm really here we are in August, and already it's turning into fall, and we're getting leaves falling in my pond. Every morning I do the rounds with my simple net and just scoop stuff out, and basically that's what you got to do. If you want a messier, more rustic pond, you can let organic matter accumulate in your pond. It's not the worst thing in the world. However, in the winter time, just remember that the decay of that stuff that builds in your pond may use up the oxygen in the water, and that won't be the greatest thing for your koi. So I just scoop all the junk out that falls into my pond, and I do it very regularly with just a simple net. So that's it for this FAQ video. I'll probably do another one because there's a lot of FAQs. So have fun raising your koi, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much. Take care.